welcome back to another Random Sam Epic Mom. And it is time for another book review, and in this holiday season, let's keep the holiday stories coming. So, this one is actually a collection of 3 stories. Haha, anthology. Normally it's an anthology, but this is actually all 3 in the series. Now, it's called Horned Holidays. It's books 1 to 3. In this, the author is Honey Phillips, which I have done other book reviews of hers. And book 1 is Krampus and the Crone. And let me give you a little background. This takes place on a planet. Now, on a colony ship, a group of colonists from Earth crashed into this planet. It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle of the space. So, that said, what happened next was after several generations, certain areas, Earth has become more of a legend, and a lot of our Christmas traditions and just holiday traditions in general have kind of mashed together. And, some people don't even believe that we truly had the technology. Other people do remember the stories. But again, this is, several generations, and you've lost a lot of technology, so you're pretty much back to having candlelit houses, fireplaces, traveling trade caravans for merchants, that type of thing. And now, all these generations later, a couple of aliens are crash landing on this planet. Now, the first story, Krampus and the Crone. So, apparently, Earth's technology was enough that when they crash landed here, the pilot, or captain, felt so guilty she thought she had made an error that as punishment she was kind of banished from the original settlement and stuck to, kind of watch over the settlement but not be a part of it. And every generation has done the same. Well, apparently they were smart enough by that point that she's retained the knowledge of what they used to be capable of. While everybody else has forgotten a lot of, basic things like healing and such, she's been pretty much hanging on. And this is, several, 6 to 10 great grandchild, and they were able to choose the sex of their child. So in this little village, for the past few generations, all the women have disguised themselves as old crones so that they wouldn't be attacked by the villagers. But again, what they chose. So now she's alone, and what's a nice way to put it? She still has the crone persona, but she's actually a young woman. And she's pretty much the midwife, the healer. Everybody's kind of leery of her, but she's still there. And, she lives a very isolated life. Well, our alien, our horned alien, who apparently they look very similar to us, but paler skin, silver hair, big huge horns, very physically physique. He comes from a society where they have such high, passionate natures that a long time ago, their ruler or prophet decided, we can't do this. We cannot be like this. So they don't kiss, they don't have emotions, they don't show passion. When they decide to have families, it's all very logic-based. There's no, even babies aren't born the natural way. They go to a lab, do that. There's no sex, guys. So this very strict, uptight society, who used to be very fierce, passionate warriors, are very, no hand-holding, no showing affection, nothing like that. Everything has to be logic. Well, he crash lands first. And Commander, I'm trying to think of the correct way to pronounce the name. Sorry, guys. Commander Krampusarian de Marcherander. And I've probably completely screwed up the name. So, all these Earth legends that have stuck around, Krampus, which is a an old myth, especially in Europe, where Krampus would steal all the naughty children. He'd throw them in a sack and take them away. So he's kind of the evil Santa. Well, Krampus, this one, from his society, crashed on. Because, again, guys, this is the Bermuda Triangle of space. It is just causing all sorts of ships to crash. So he crashes there, and he's trying to kind of hide his presence. He's using his technology to try and repair his ship. And just through a series of events, he falls in love with her. He realizes, okay, she's wearing a disguise, all that. Well, this or that happens. Some kids get involved. She goes searching for the kids. He rescues her. She finds out he's been rescuing the kids. He didn't just steal the kids. He got them away from a bad situation. And they're with him voluntarily. So his ship's finally patched up. He decides, okay, I'm going to go, even though he's fallen in love with her. Well, as he starts up his ship, because they're on a mountain village, it causes an avalanche. And he has to make the decision. Does he take off into space or does he save them? So, that's Krampus' story. Book 2 is A Gift for Nicholas. Now, the second guy, sorry guys, I should have had this marked. The next guy who went. Now, kind of heads up, one of the other reasons that Krampus crashed into the planet was that there was already a sabotage malfunction in his ship. The guy who caused this malfunction is Commander Nicholas Sarin de Jelisavine. So, Nicholas is the one that sabotaged the ship so that he could get to their destination first and, kind of lay down the groundwork, schmooze everybody so that he'd get the position as ambassador. Well, he is now no longer a commander but an ambassador. But he feels guilty about it because Krampus never showed up. Nobody's seen him. Nobody knows what happens to him. And slowly over time, that guilt, that conscience he didn't think he had, kind of kicked him in the butt. So he decides to go looking. And he crashes. Swear, this planet doesn't know what to do with it. And he crashed near a coastal town. And in it, a little girl came, and because his suit that, keeps him warm in the weather because it is winter time, happens to be red. So she thinks he's Santa. So she starts leaving him milk and cookies. And it's just one thing after another. Her mom thought she was just making it up. Her mom's a widow. And just, they fall in love with each other. And again, he comes from a society where there is no affection. He's actually a street kid who, has pushed and brought himself up to the highest, level he can be at. He just keeps trying to leave his background behind him. But he's fallen in love with her. And he doesn't want to admit it. So he just starts doing repairs to her house. He does all these little things. He just doesn't want to leave her. But when he decides, okay, I've got to do it, she says, well, our town, everything is, it's slowly dying and everything. We don't know what's wrong with it. We're not getting the fish anymore. I might have to leave even though you've just done all these cool things for my house. And he has to make a decision. Am I going to stay or am I going to go? And she thinks he's left. And he's asked, well, come with me to space. She's like, are your people going to accept me? And he realizes, no. His people are stuck up jerks. That's the nicest way to put it. They're jerks. They have this very strict code of courtesy. But it's so conniving that people backstab each other very easily. And it is just ridiculous. So, I don't want to ruin the ending for you, but he's asked her, she says no, he says he's got to leave, but they're going to have to make that decision. And they're going to find that what they need is each other. Third story. And this one kind of goes back to, again, noticing a pattern, it all involves the one before it. So, when Nicholas crash landed, what he didn't know is that his assistant attaché subcommander, and you guys are going to love the name, Subcommander Jacasarian de Frostula. Jack Frost. I love that. Krampus, Nicholas, and Jack Frost. Well, in A Kiss of Frost, he thought he was going to get dismissed. He thought he just could not seem to make the ambassador happy. So he snuck onto the ship, not realizing the ambassador was going to leave, and he was just trying to find something out about his boss, something that would make it so he would be able to stick around. And so, instead of telling his boss, hey, I'm here, let me get off the ship first, he stowed away. So when they crashed, he decided, you know what, I'm just going to go. And he's seeing a signal for another spaceship, and he's like, hey, maybe there's another ship I can get off this planet. Well, on his way there, he is learning about, through stories that are told around Christmas time or holiday time, he's hearing about how the people came to be on that planet. And during that, he runs across Katrina. And Katrina was about to be forced to marry this even bigger jerk. Oh my God, this guy's a jerk. And her father was pretty much just selling her. And she's put up with her dad because he's the caravan master, he's the one in charge of the caravan. Well, she's pretty much taking care of everything. She takes his abuse and everything to protect her little sister. Little sister's only 10, and her dad's already talking about selling the sister. So, in order to avoid that, she takes her sister and they take off. Barely any supplies, but they get away. Well, Jack, again, society where there's no affection. Well, Jack's mom was not 100% that type of alien. So she was always looked down upon. He's been looked down upon because of his heritage or lineage. And he finds her, and it's just, he's not quite that seasoned warrior. He's more that young one who's still idealistic but not completely sure. Well, he decides to keep following her. He doesn't want to have her see him with his horns and everything. He doesn't want to scare her. But eventually, they're going to run into each other. But they went to a abandoned trading post, the sisters. And while they're there, they find a group of kids who have escaped being slaves. And the oldest one, who's, maybe about 12, 13, is trying to protect all these little kids. And Johnny has just, he's kind of untrustworthy, but he wants to protect them too because, these are other females. We all got to stick together. And he's kind of leery. He's not really trusting Jack right away. But they're going to find out that a long time ago, another alien had crashed there, and it's been slowly, screwing up that area. Anyways, I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but in it, they're going to, all these kids who have escaped being slaves, these sisters who are escaping an abusive relationship, and Jack who's escaping a society where there's no affection. His mother was affectionate to him, but slowly over time his dad kind of made her not be affectionate, so she'd be just like everybody else. So he's pretty much, he knows what real affection is, but he's been told his entire life that it's not okay. And together they're going to form their own little family unit. And at the end of each one of these books, you really get some closure, but they're hilarious. I love the idea of Earthlings colonizing other planets, but this is a what can go wrong situation. And something we always forget is that if you don't have supplies to replace technology, technology can eventually fail on you. So I loved reading this story. It was great. It very much made me laugh, and it made me just really smile, because besides the whole idea of going to another planet and, colonizing the one not planned for, I love the thought of how our traditions can stick with us. That, yeah, they might change, just like, what Christmas used to mean is different than what it means now. And just like here, taking these traditions from the original world and keeping them alive in our hearts is just an amazing story. And this series was great. I would recommend it to anybody. I enjoy Honey Phillips stories a lot, you can tell. And I love the fact that, I don't know, with a lot of her stories, it is somebody who you wouldn't think could go together, but how it's our emotions that bring us together. It is taking that chance. And that's something a lot of writers are able to teach us. And I just love reading about it every day. So if you guys get a chance, please give Honey Phillips a chance. But really try Horned Holidays. It is funny, it is great, and any book's a great read. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Happy holidays, guys. Hopefully you'll be getting a new book under the Christmas tree. Bye. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Please check out our other videos already on YouTube. And give us a like and subscribe. And if you hit that bell for notifications, you'll know when we put something new out. So try to make every day matter by finding the fun. You guys have a great one. Bye.